Welcome to Barf City, episode 48. I'm Eric.
I'm Kevin.
So, everyone ready for the holiday? For Christmas? For Hanukkah? Or whatever you celebrate? Yule?
It's kind of interesting that we use the term happy holidays. Of course, we do that to, that way everyone, because people celebrate different stuff. But like
Yeah.
theoretically, you could say happy holidays all year long because there's always some kind of holiday going on.
Yeah, realistically, yeah.
Yeah, you could just say that as a greeting to everybody. You just be like, happy holidays everywhere you go, happy holidays.
Okay, I mean, it'd be a little annoying. Well,
I'm
I
not
think they
saying you
call,
should. I'm not saying you should. I'm just saying you could. So,
yeah, I mean, I think a lot of it started because, like, you compare, like, as we've grown up, more and more, like, technical holidays have been added to the list. Like they're not, or well, mini holidays, like basically celebrations. Because technically, LGBTQ, well, Pride Month,
it's not really a holiday.
it's a celebration. It started they originally started on each of these as like a single day, then it became a week, then it became a whole month. It's evolved because Black History Month used to be just, if I remember correctly, it was just a Black History Day, and then Black History Week, and then it became Black History Month.
Think it's more of an awareness type of thing than an actual holiday or a
Mm.
celebration.
Well, it says to sell the whole month is to celebrate black successful people and black communities. No, in general, same with Pride Month. It's to celebrate, people that are part of the LGBTQ. I can't. That's as far as I can remember the numbers. I'm bad with remembering shit.
Yeah, I don't know. I
Uh,
guess I've never thought of those months as celebration
I
months.
mean, they're meant
I
to
always thought of it more
celebrate
as an
those
awareness
people
thing.
who, like, it's started with Black History Month is meant to celebrate blacks for the stuff that they had gone through and then can't overcome. And then if you like, even when playing Xbox, it'll be mainly games that have black main characters or black majority of the cat group. The creators of the game were black or whatever. Same with Pride. They'll have games that are made by Pride companies
Yeah,
or that are or
I
games
guess
that are
when you
very
think about it, you
inclusive
could.
to both.
I guess I could apply that to any holiday when I think about it. I could always say, well, any holiday is an awareness of something, I guess.
Yeah,
So, but
in
yeah,
a
I don't know.
sense.
I guess I just think about it. Those in my brain, I kind of divide those into two different categories. But I guess, yeah, I guess they could be. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. So
Now, my thing is, I'm fine with just a week. I don't get the having a whole month to any holiday for any group.
well, in all honesty, like most of those months very rarely get celebrated the whole month, or at least like heavily. I should specify heavily celebrated the
Yeah,
entire month. Usually, that comes in the first like couple of weeks, and then after that, it kind of dies down. People don't talk
because
about
like
it.
yeah, it should only at least holiday should only be at least a week max, the maximum a week.
Yeah,
Because like you just kind of burn it. I couldn't celebrate Christmas for an entire damn month.
yeah. Even though some people do, so
Yeah,
supposed to just be
technically.
one day, but it hogs all the month of December for some people. But
Yeah, I mean, celebrate anything you want whenever you want, but like
yeah,
yeah, celebrations, holidays, whatever, shouldn't be specifically an entire month like to itself. Because like hell, International Women's Day is only a day.
yeah.
Father's Day, Mother's Day, those are only days. Like when is it gonna be International Women's Month? Like women were just as oppressed as a lot of things. So
I'm oppressed when I'm at work.
oh yeah,
We're only
totally I
gonna have
oppressed you.
Kevin's month, Kevin oppression month.
Uh-huh.
I need to start a petition to get me where people just
Yeah,
give me money and I don't have to go to work anymore, and we'll just make a whole month about it. So,
sure. That'll kick off. This
So
is a joke to everyone listening. I'm sorry, man, but you're the wrong skin color for that.
do it.
I said this is a joke, but to everyone listening, but you're the wrong skin color, my friend.
I'm the wrong skin color.
You couldn't get the sympathy votes
Oh, okay. Well, what about white women? They get sympathy.
because they're women. Women were oppressed.
Yeah.
You're not a woman.
Well, I was oppressed though.
No, you weren't.
Yeah, I was.
In
I'm
your
oppressed
mind.
when I'm at work. I just said that
How are you impressed at work? You
because
go
it's
work and make money.
depressing.
Oh, I think you're getting your things mixed up there, my friend.
So I've been like looking online and trying to think of the best way to like word this. But like I've been like doing some research about various RPG mechanics because
Yeah.
like for people that don't know, I make like independent like mediocre RPGs and and
Yeah, it's not like we've
I've
plugged it
released
ever since
one. The
you.
link's in the description if you want to play
Yeah.
it. But I'm working on another one. I'm actually working on three games at the same time, which I probably shouldn't be doing that, but I am.
No.
And but one I've been like looking into like kind of what people think about certain mechanics and stuff, ideas that I've been wanting to put in one of my games in particular. And one of them is I wanted to add a mechanic where, and you can tell me what you think about this too, but I wanted to
Okay.
add a mechanic, and this isn't anything new. This is something that's been in RPGs before. It just kind of got taken away over time. But where I wanted to have an eating mechanic where your characters have to eat. So so and but apparently there's quite a bit of backlash on that. A lot of people don't apparently want mechanics like that in their games.
Well,
And I don't know if I fully agree with that, especially with the reasonings behind it they give. And I'm just like, huh. I was like, I don't know if I agree with those reasonings because they say they consider it to be too much of a chore or too tedious.
well, like I mean, in a sense, when most MMORPGs or RPGs in general, that does become tedious depending on the type of game it is. But like, because survival games, you have to eat like that, and there are survival RPGs,
Yeah.
which those ones you basically are, because even Skyrim has an update when their newest edition they had came out with, to where you can actually do a full survival thing in Skyrim, where you actually have to wear certain armor and stuff and gear. But in the winter, you have to eat, you have to sleep.
Right, right.
So I mean, survive. You'd have to just classify it as a survival MMO.
Well, it's not an
Or,
MMO, but
well, you mean RPG?
yeah. Um, I mean,
I
I
play too
guess you
many.
could put that category in it once you start putting more survival mechanics in there. I don't know if that's the category I would give it. To me, I feel like it adds more role playing depth to it, in my opinion. That's just the way I look at it.
Yeah, but you also got to look at the way of the aspect of if the person's dungeon crawling, trying to get a good kind of gear that's in that dungeon, and they're being slowed down by the fact, oh, your character has to sleep. They have to find a safe spot to sleep. Pitch up a tent,
Yeah.
or hey, your character's hungry. Most people just utilize food in their RPGs as just increase.
Yeah, like
you don't
like a
have
buff. Yeah.
yeah, if you don't have like a health potion, you can eat this food and it'll bring your health up a little bit or whatever.
Yeah, I don't. That's the main reason, and that's what I did with Crate. I just made food and drinks be sort of a buff because I just didn't really know what to do with it. And when I'm testing it, I don't know, I always feel like that's just such a boring mechanic, like just making it a buff. So, because to me, it's just like once you get potions and stuff like that, it's just like I feel like who would ever want to buy food because like potions obviously have better.
I don't know. Like, I mean, because potions are typically more expensive. I've
Right,
been in
that's why I'm saying
RPGs.
once you get them though, it's like now you no longer need them
Well,
anymore.
not necessarily. It's like, because having some food items to heal me has actually saved me in a lot of incidents in games because the fight was going on so long. I used so many fucking potions because it was such a grueling fight that if I didn't have a well, happened to have stolen some food from a couple merchants, I probably would have died in that fight. Wouldn't have beaten the boss.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think that's ever happened to
I
me.
have never eaten
But
so much cheese with a character in my life.
I mean, yeah, I have done that with RPGs like in the early gameplay, like where I might eat some food or something to heal myself up. But yeah, once I get a little bit of cash and kind of get some potions and stuff, it's like food always kind of kicks the curb and I never really need it. In fact, I usually clear it out of my inventory, especially if the game has weight mechanics, because I'm like, I don't want this
Yeah.
stuff weighing me down. So
Well, most foods
it's
don't really
pointless.
weigh that much in most games.
Yeah, but it adds up
Um,
if you have enough of it.
yeah. But I mean, I guess you just never played a RPG with some really, really powerful bosses.
Well, I have. Yeah, I mean, Final Fantasy has some pretty powerful bosses, but well, it's fair to say though with Final Fantasy though that you can I usually have like the kind of my biggest gripe with Final Fantasy is once you get like 1/4 of the way into the game. Well, I'm talking old school Final Fantasy, but once you get about 1/4 of the way into the game, it's like you have so much money and potions now to where all that stuff is completely like it just doesn't even matter to you anymore. It's like that stuff might as well just become free to you because you have so
Plus, you've probably already leveled up the person in your group that has healing magic.
yeah, right.
So,
If you
like, if
have
you
one
have,
of those in your party, but
yeah, I always have one. If it's a party
yeah,
mechanic,
I
like,
usually do. I'm kind of a red mage guy, but yeah, of course you can do healing with red mage,
yeah,
but yeah. So yeah, that was just one mechanic I was talking. There's one that I refuse to. This one was I talked about years ago where now not many people will be as familiar with this one because it's not really utilized in I've only seen it utilized in two games that I'm aware of. If it's in another game, I've never seen it. It may be in another game, I've just never seen it. But where they have the level door system to where you have to be a certain level to get past a door. Uh,
some indie games are still utilizing that every once in a while. And when
yeah,
I buy indie, I mean like low tier stuff to like Roblox levels. Like I've played RPGs on Roblox that you have to be a certain level to get past this portal. It won't open up until you're a certain level, or this door
oh,
won't
okay.
open up. Some
Yeah,
people still utilize that concept,
yeah. I've only seen it happen in two games, but
and it will,
if it probably is in other games, but I just never seen them.
and it pisses me off because I'll like in like these RPG aspects, I'll beat the final boss in that area, and for some reason they'll put that final boss to where it doesn't like get it's not even near the level of the door, so now I have to grind for another 10 or more fucking hours just to get a level to get through that fucking door to get to the next area. The
Yeah.
boss has been dead forever.
Now, I will say I would never put a level door behind. Well, I would probably never use a level door for a main quest door anyway. But even if I did, I wouldn't do it for like a boss battle or something. I
Well,
would do it
like
for like maybe a side dungeon or something.
if I do a door that's locked, it's only going to be locked until you beat the boss or until you have to do this specific mission. Like doors that are locked behind missions or bosses, I'm
Oh,
fine
see,
with.
I don't like that. I don't like it when they lock doors when you have to do certain missions to unlock areas or doors. So that's a mechanic I actually don't like. So
I like that.
I don't like it. Because
Well,
I
I
prefer
mean,
if you're gonna lock a door or something, I want it to either be locked with a key that I have to find somewhere, or maybe you can lock pick it, or or it's behind a level. That basically lets me know that I can get in that door at any time once I find either that item or get to that level. See, if it's locked behind some kind of
eh,
quest or something, most of the time the game wouldn't even tell you what quest you need to do. So now I literally just abandon that area and I have to, what do I got to do? Come back and check every once in a while to see if I can get in there now? Or if it's one of those areas that only pertain to that one part, which I don't like as much. So,
mm, I don't know. You say like if the game has it to where you don't know what quest you get to do once you reach that door, that's kind of a stupid game creation because majority of the proof like, oh, you beat the boss, but you still can't get past this door. They typically have something that explains what's going
Right.
on with this door. Like look at like most thought processes Zelda. If there's something locked away, they actually explain why it's locked and how you put and like give you hints on what you're supposed to do.
Do they?
Yeah, if I remember correctly, at least in
Zelda?
one of them. I
Hmm.
think it was one of the GameCube ones.
Oh, okay. Hmm.
But it's been forever since I've played those. So,
Yeah.
uh, but if you have just a locked door, like you kill the boss in the area, whatever, you want to go to the next area or continue the main mission, but it's behind this door. And it's like, oh yeah, you just haven't completed the mission for it. Well, what fucking mission? If they don't like tell you, like, go talk to this person to figure out what's why this door didn't unlock, and you just do the jump from there. If they don't do that, that pisses me off. But if they're like, oh, okay, why can't I open this door? Little partner or whatever you might have is like, oh, maybe I should talk to, or your character itself thinks, oh, maybe I should talk to this guy over here and see what he says about the door.
Well, if it's built in like that, that would be okay, depending on how it was handled, I guess. And it kind of depends on what's behind the door, I guess. That
Yeah.
would probably be better. But yeah, if it's just like you can't get in the door, it just simply says locked to where you might assume there's a key or something. And then later on, you're like, oh, well, the key is with this person because you just didn't activate that quest yet. I don't really like that actually.
Mm,
I'd rather the key just be placed hidden somewhere in the world where I can find it. So
I mean, it's still hidden in the world.
yeah, but it locks it behind a quest, which I don't like as much. So I
I
want
don't
it to
like it
go.
being locked behind a level because a lot of times when they lock them behind levels, you can beat the boss and still need another fucking 30, 40 levels to get to the damn door.
Right, and and yeah, there's definitely a wrong way to do level doors, in my opinion.
And
Well,
there's a wrong way to do quest doors.
but I would never do a level door personally like that. But yeah, uh,
Now, the only doors I would do is a door that's locked behind a boss. You go in there, you beat the boss, the door opens.
that's not really a level door though. That's just a locked door behind a mechanic that something you have to do first.
Yeah, I'm saying that's the only type of mechanic. Because, dude, like, Elden Ring, that game pisses me off. Like, Elden Ring and the, uh, fuck, Dark Souls games. There's areas that's locked you can't get to until you beat a certain person or do a certain thing, and there's no hand holding in those games.
Yeah,
You just have to either look it up or figure it the fuck out. That does piss me off.
yeah, yeah. It's been a long time since I played Dark Souls. I vaguely remember that, but yeah,
But there's also with that game in the same breath, some places have like three, four different ways to get into it.
yeah. No, yeah, that would be okay. So, and I had a few doors like that in Crate where some of them where you could find a key somewhere in another dungeon or something, but there was also sometimes you could unlock it earlier if something happened first. And that would be a mechanic that I would be okay with. It's
Yeah,
not actually locked behind a quest. It's just you kind of unlocked it early because you activated it through that quest. There's more than one way to get in there. So
yeah.
you could have unlocked it at any time as soon as you found that key. It's just you just got to it earlier because you
Now,
yeah.
what I don't like with the key stuff sometimes is when games do like, oh, you find a random key like, you know, two, five, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 hours ago, doing
Hmm.
this random dungeon, has no fucking description, like just mysterious key, and you
Yeah.
find like three of them. Like, what the fuck is what are they all for? You go to this door, none of them want to fucking unlock it. So now you have to try and figure out the door key, which key for each which fucking door.
Yeah.
That shit annoys the piss out of me.
Yeah, most of the time, I'm trying to think. I know Oblivion kind of does that. Most of the time, when you find a like a cell key in a dungeon in Oblivion, usually it unlocks something in that dungeon. So that's when
Yeah.
I usually just start looking around. And that's an okay mechanic. That one's I'm kind of indifferent about. I do obviously that can be, and I think that's why they probably didn't bring that over to Skyrim really, uh, but that's an okay mechanic. So I'm kind of indifferent about that one.
Well, my thing on it, all three
I do
ways of
prefer
having,
like a description with the key, like where it tells you what it goes to once you
yeah,
find it.
like
So
all four ways of locking a door behind something, whether it be a boss, a quest, a level, or a key,
yeah.
can all be done in the wrong fucking annoyingest way.
Oh yeah, and I won't deny that. Yeah, with areas or doors being locked behind quests, there are definitely better ways to do it. But I prefer when it's just not done like that at all. So that's just my preference, though.
Or my favorite, I can't
Because
remember
what if
what
I just
game
want to
done this.
explore? And now I have to go do that quest in order to explore
Yeah.
that area. I just want to explore it. So
Now I can't remember. There's a game I know it's done this for, and God, did I get so fucking pissed. I almost fucking quit the game.
oh yeah.
Went up there, I beat this boss, right? Fucking tough ass battle, great battle. Beat him, and I go to mosey on my way to the next area. Blah blah blah. Gonna go, and then a random new fucking boss shows up just to cutscene bitch slap your ass back down. So you have to work your way all the way back up and just to fight a new boss in that same fucking location.
Yeah.
God, that pisses me off.
Oh man, that's one of the annoying things I have about Final Fantasy One is that when you get to the final dungeon, you have to fight like multiple boss battles, and they expect you to do all that in one go too. I was just
Yeah.
like, it's like what the fuck? I'm like, I got to do all this in one go. So yeah, you got to be big time prepared. Yeah, basically you got to do a lot of grinding. So of course that was when get back games back then. So
Like I don't mind if games basically tells me, hey, look, dude, you're gonna have to spend like 5, 6 hours grinding shit for this boss. This boss is hard. I
yeah,
don't mind that. Like I don't mind running a gauntlet. Like if I know a gauntlet is coming up, like if a game I'm about to storm the fucking main facility of the bad guys, and he's got like four or more generals or something. I know I have to go through each general to get to him.
yeah.
Well, motherfucker, I'm about to grind for quite a few hours. I'm gonna do this all at once. I'm gonna run that fucking gauntlet. But if it's just a surprise, a new enemy out of nowhere.
Jeez.
Damn, you're burpy.
I know, right? It happens when I start talking. I guess it pushes the gas
They're so full of hot air.
up. But yeah, those are. But that anyway. Uh, I held back from doing level doors in my first
Hmm.
game in Crate because there was every time I talked to somebody about it, they told me they were like, yeah, I agree, I don't like that mechanic, and I'm just like, man, I just don't understand that because I loved that mechanic. If I mean now in the two game like it basically is in the Legacy of Goku series. And it's like I will say the second one handled it better. The third one did get a little carried away with the level doors, and that would be the system that I would not utilize it that way. I would do it more like the way Legacy Goku 2 does it. But
Hmm.
yeah, I was just like so I held back and I just didn't do it that way because so many people said, "Oh yeah, I don't like that." So and but in this game, I've decided I was like, you know what? If people don't like it, they don't have to play it. I was like,
Yeah.
so I have level doors. Like I said, I will use them sparingly. It's not like I'm gonna throw every single
Yeah.
dungeon with
Well,
a level door or something. And I wouldn't
like,
put like, oh, well, you're gonna have to be like level 50, so good luck grinding. Like, no, I'm not gonna do that. Yeah. So,
yeah. It's just for me, it just has to be done the right way.
yeah. And it's kind of like with Crate when I had my key system, certain dungeons were locked with certain keys and stuff. And the only reason why I did that was because The dungeons in my game, my map was admittedly a bit too small because I got way too carried away with building too many dungeons, and because I like making dungeons, and so a lot of the dungeons were kind of close together, and so I needed a way to keep players from just basically running into dungeons and like grabbing all the gold, like because it wouldn't have been that hard to do that. To just run in there and grab all the gold real quick, and then basically you're like now you can go buy like whatever weapons and armor you want, and now like really nothing could touch you at that point. Uh, so I was trying to make it a bit harder for the player to be able to do that, and so that was one of the systems. And like I said, I tried to avoid anytime I had a quest that was attached to that dungeon, I tried my
Hmm.
best to only stick to dungeons that were always unlocked. So that way, because I knew that could be annoying. Like if you just got a even if it was a side quest, if you just got a quest and then you're like, okay, go to this dungeon and do this. So you went to the dungeon, and the first thing the player finds out is like, well, crap, the dungeon's locked. So now I got to go somewhere in this world to find this key. So I tried not to do that. I tried to just stick to dungeons that were unlocked, and that way you could just go inside and do the quest. So again, that's I tried my best to balance. It probably wasn't perfect, but I tried to balance stuff like that out. Anytime I utilized some system that could be annoying, I tried my best to make it as least annoying as possible. And I would do the same thing with level doors. I would use them sparingly and not to get too carried away with them. So
Yeah.
yeah. So and maybe that's what people are saying when online, because I asked people that both in real life and online, and when they said that online saying, oh no, I don't like level doors, maybe they just think the first thing they think is, oh, you're going to just start locking all the doors with level. That's just like, no, that's not what I'm doing. I was just like, just for some doors. And it's the same thing with the food system. I think some people were thinking like, oh, as soon as someone asks that question, they think, oh, all you're gonna do is just make it, well, now you have to eat food, and your meter's you're gonna have to eat food probably multiple times a day. Good luck having quests and stuff like that. I'm like, no, I would test it out and balance it out and make sure it's not too annoying or too big of a deal. And I would try my best to make more role playing mechanics in the game that would utilize that mechanic as well. Like maybe create more situations where you might would have to sit down and eat something. So, or something like that. But other than just, oh, now you got this meter that's just going to slowly drain down. And as soon as it goes to zero, your players are going to just all kill over and die. Like, I wouldn't go like that extreme with it. So, mm, there's definitely a balance, I think. So
I'd like to play kind of a survival RPG game where you play as a just a normal average Joe that's an adventurer trying to make it rich, and you like leave your house for each day, try to do a new mission and get some gold or whatever.
yeah,
uh, and like with the food things, like you're fighting, you're just like, I'm so fucking hungry. Why do I have to keep doing this?
yeah,
I don't like the dying of hunger.
yeah. I don't think, and I when I first thought of doing a hunger system, I was just like, yeah, I don't think I would make the players just kill over from hunger. I don't think I would do that
Yeah,
because then essentially all you're doing is just adding a second health bar that is just being refueled by something else instead of health potions or sleeping or whatever. It's like
yeah. I
now
mean, you can
instead you
just
got
do
to
it
eat
as a
food. So
debuff. They don't
right, and
regenerate as
yeah,
quick.
and that's what most people said. They were like, well, if you have to do that, I would just do it to where it like maybe where it weakens you or where it affects some of your stats or something like that. And I was like, yeah, yeah, of course. So mhm.
Like a good, helping the meal makes you a little bit stronger. You're like, yeah, I'm ready for this shit. I got a full belly. Let's go
Yeah,
kick some ass. Yeah. So I have a funny thought.
yeah,
I wonder how many people, because you talking about Spotify getting more listeners, right?
Yeah, it can depend on the episode, but most of the time, yeah.
I wonder if any of them are from Ghana listeners.
From who?
The music app I was using.
Oh, I don't know. I didn't even think about that. Yeah.
Because, like, I literally just made random ass songs just to be goofy for a fucking podcast
Yeah.
that actually have, like, almost, like, one of them has over 100, the other ones are almost 100 listens.
Yeah.
If anyone did come over here, sorry that we weren't using one of those cool songs. It's, Kevin's fault.
How's it my fault? You didn't even send them to me.
I've sent you all three of them at one point.
No, you didn't. You only sent me one through a text,
Uh,
which I don't think I can actually, I was able to find. I never did. I forgot to tell you about that. But the other ones, yeah, you sent them.
that's your fault. Just
How
kidding.
are the other ones my fault? Now I'll give you the one I can't find. That one can't be my fault. But the other ones, if I didn't get them, I didn't get them.
uh,
It's still somehow my fault. Huh?
yep, yep. You're the main host. It's all your fault.
No. Oh, okay. I like this song we have right now. It's short and sweet to the point.
Yeah,
So it would be cool to have an actual theme though. So, mm,
yeah. I'll work on it.
it's all your fault.
Yeah. Okay, I'll accept it now. Since if you're going to actually use one, if I can make a good one,
Yeah,
I'll
we
throw
agreed
it.
on one. Now I don't remember which one it was. I'd have to hear them all again.
Because I have three currently still saved.
Yeah.
I think one of them we liked the beat to it, but we didn't like how the lyrics formed.
Yeah. And then there was one where we liked the lyrics more, but I didn't really like the beat
Like
as
the
much.
beat, yeah, yeah. Because the first one had that bubbly, that bump, bump, ba dum, ba bum, bum,
Yeah.
bum, ba ba bum. And the other one was the tone was dun, 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 whatever.
Yeah.
Dun, 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 dun. Yeah, but we like the lyrics from the harder sounding one, but we like the tone of the beat.
The more cartoony one. Yeah.
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 The honestly though, like this funny thing is, like if you really think about it, those are misleading because we're not really that funny.
Are we not? I thought we were
No.
hilarious.
Uh, to us, we're probably fucking
Yeah.
genius levels,
Well, I would
fucking
say comedy is subjective. What one person
yeah.
finds, someone else may not find as funny, and vice versa. There's
But I've
some
also
stand-up
noticed,
comedians that some people claim are hilarious, but I just don't get their sense of humor. So,
right?
mm.
I've also noticed something about our videos, right?
Yeah,
Anytime that we have when we can't record the episode because something's going on, some visitors or whatever, the next episode, unless we have a topic already planned for that next episode,
yeah.
we are so fucking boring.
Are we?
Yeah, it's like we have less to talk about. We're not
Excuse
as
me.
hyperact on the next video.
Yeah, I guess it's kind of like we lost our groove of it or something.
Yeah.
We're just like, yeah. So anyway, we
And
had to
so,
do
anyways,
this.
it's just kind of,
Yeah,
I because I notice I'll start talking like instead of like this and all that, I'll be like, yeah, it's just this happened. I don't understand it. Kind of people are stupid and yeah,
I
just
feel like I was much more peppy in the last episode than I was, especially those previous episodes. I went through like three episodes there where I was just going, yeah, yeah, like pretty much
again,
through the
those
whole episode.
episodes
Yeah.
came after being
Well,
having that
in my
break.
defense, the episode before the last one, you were talking about a lot of stuff I just didn't know anything really about. So I had
Ah,
no,
true.
so, so, and I couldn't really think of a topic to kind of steer to really either. So plus, you're also really bad about sometimes you'll be talking about something and that I don't really know much about. So I'll kind of think of something that it reminds me of. that I know more about. I was like, yeah, that kind of reminds me of this, and I'll bring it up. And you're like, yeah, that has nothing to do with that though. And then you'll and I was like, I know, that's why I brought it up, so I have something to say because I
This is
have.
how you don't know what you're talking. That has nothing to do with what I'm talking about. Fuck that. Fuck you. We're such good podcast mates.
I know, right? We're
We're
always
such
right in sync on what we want to talk
yeah.
about. Yep. We have a few pretty
Uh,
good episodes where we do that really well with, but yeah, definitely not successful with every one of them.
no. I mean, it's kind of a hard thing to really get down pat is trying to successfully like flip the conversations back and forth,
Yeah.
especially when one person has something they really want to talk about. Like when you really want to talk about, talked about leaving Christianity, there's nothing I could say to it. So I was like, yeah, this
Yeah.
is Kevin's
Well, that
video.
it is fair to say we prepared for that episode though, because
Yeah.
I warned you like weeks ahead of time. So
Yeah. I mean, even the episode before that, I was like, so next week's Kevin's episode, you won't hear nothing about me very much.
yeah.
It's like, and then, and a lot of that's because, like, when we come back from a little break because of a situation, I have looked up some stuff to try to get back in a groove of talking about or built up things over 2 weeks,
Yeah.
a week or two, whatever. And I just start talking about them. And if you have no idea what to talk about, I'm just like, keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. And then you'll pipe up something like, and I'm bad. I know I'm bad about this because like when you said, like you'll pipe up something that you get an idea to say about, and my brain's just like, nah, fuck that, fuck this guy. I've already controlled the episode this long. I'll just keep controlling
Yeah.
it.
My problem is sometimes anytime I bring up a topic, I always have to try to keep it short and sweet because if I go on too long about it, I will eventually my kind of ADHD brain will kick in a little bit, and then I'll completely forget what I was even saying or talking about.
Yeah,
And then I'll be sitting there just suddenly drawing a blank, and then you're just like kind of left hanging where you're like, okay, what do I say now? Because now he's not saying anything, and I really don't have a topic ready to just dish out, you know. So yeah, I that's why I always have to try. I try my best to be like, okay, keep it short and sweet, Kevin, because otherwise you're gonna go on too long and you're gonna cause a problem here. So,
yeah, that's a problem I have too.
is there an episode that you like completely regret us recording? Like you wish
Um,
it existed?
Not really. I don't regret none of the episodes. I have regretted some topics in a sense. Like, oh God, what did we talk about that? And it's primarily one topic, and that's biscuit and gravy.
Yeah, I kind of had a feeling you would bring that episode up because I didn't know if you regretted the whole episode or what, but yeah, because that's always the one you always warn people not to listen to, except for that one.
Yeah.
Don't listen to that one. Yeah.
No, listen to that one. I don't like that one was brought
It
up.
is, I don't,
Well,
I
mostly
think
is
that
you
one
made me
gets skipped over a
relive
lot
that
now.
kind of
Yeah.
thought process. I'm like, ugh, ugh, no.
That was me being pressure you on you. I was trying to get you to like I was trying to force you to talk about something you didn't really want to talk about. But yeah.
Pressure
Yeah.
pushing down
It's
on
fair to
me.
say it's fair to say that I think that episode now that we're like almost to episode 50, that one kind of gets overlooked now because if people do go back to the oldest episodes, they usually will just like listen to the very first episode. That's why that one is our still most viewed episode slash listened to episode. And then people have a tendency to just kind of skip over a huge chunk of them and then go to the more recent ones. So
Yeah, I've noticed that. They're like, okay, let's see what these guys are somewhat about.
yeah, so that episode probably gets ignored a lot now. There's probably a lot of people that don't even know about it. So
They're gonna know about it now because I mentioned it.
now I got to go back and listen to that episode.
why why did Eric not like talking
What is
about
wrong with
biscuit and
this biscuits and
gravy?
gravy episode?
I mean, it literally has 17 views on YouTube. That and
Yeah,
Pointless Rambling are
those
tied.
most of those came a little bit earlier on though. I don't think it gets quite as many now. So
Mm-mm.
same thing with Spotify. It used to get more, but then it just suddenly kind of died out. So mm,
But those are still that one and Pointless Rambling are still, I think, our top two viewed on YouTube.
yeah. Yeah, on Spotify, our most listened to one is our very first episode. So it has, I can't remember how many listens it had. When I looked last, I can't remember what it said, but yeah, it's quite a bit higher too. It's just like this one's way up here, and then the rest of them go, whoop. Yeah.
Uh,
People just
it's
want to
so
hear
fun.
about our security guard talk, apparently.
Apparently, they want to learn how to be a master of security guard.
I know, right? No, I think it's just people have a tendency they like to go back and listen to the first episode because they just want to see where the podcast started. And they're probably
Yeah,
not even listening to the whole thing. They're probably just listening to the first like 5 minutes or so. So, because they just want to kind of see where it started. So,
yeah,
I have admittedly done that with other podcasts too, where I've been like, especially if they're like 200 episodes in or something, I'll be
yeah.
like, I wonder how this one started, and I'll go back and listen to the first few minutes of the first episode. So,
I think a lot of people want to see have they improved.
yeah, it's like, yeah, and you'll listen to it, and their microphone quality is like horrible compared to the more recent ones. You're like, geez,
Okay, they
they,
improved. Yep, yep. Let's
they
just
did
continue
my
on.
audio alone. Yeah, yeah. I don't know. I don't. Do you think we've improved? Yeah. Or do we
Probably
think you think
not.
we generally sound pretty much the same since the first episode?
Well,
No.
I think audio wise, like I think we're more clear, but
Yeah.
it's also the first time I was using my cell phone with my
Oh yeah,
heads
you
with
were. I
my
forgot about that.
earpiece. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
Now I'm on
your
the.
I remember correctly, your phone would sometimes randomly cut out like little bits
Mm-hmm.
of it. And I remember when I would edit the audio, I had to kind of try to edit around that a little bit. So we did also have a lot of pauses too when we first started the podcast, like our first like 10-ish episodes or something like that. I remember
Oh
kind of had
God.
tons of dead air time. We would get done with a topic and then we would just kind of be like just not say anything for like over a
Yeah.
minute. It's just
Now
like
we're now we're getting better at just jumping to a next topic.
yeah, it improved more after we started doing these avatars. I'll say that because I think when you have a visual sometimes, I think that helps you kind of continue going. I don't know, it's a weird
Yeah.
psychological thing, I think.
Well, it's because like you're like with your avatar, because I don't stare at mine, I stare at yours when I'm
Yeah, I
talking
stare
to
at
you.
yours too. Yeah.
And it's like when we're both silent, I'm like staring into your avatar's eyes. It's like this is awkward.
Yeah. It's more awkward, yeah, when you have something to look at, when it feels more like an actual like face-to-face conversation. And
Yeah.
even though I'm not even looking at your face, I'm just looking at a cartoon version of your face.
Yeah.
And but it still feels kind of the same or a version. So versus when we're talking just audio, it kind of just feels like you're talking on the phone. So sometimes you're like just you might have more of a tendency to just kind of stare for a minute, or at least I do, because I'm really bad about spacing out. I'll start staring at the wall and be like, you know, yeah.
Mm.
But yeah, so
Yeah.
apparently we're recapping our podcast for some reason. I don't know how that got started.
I just started talking about it. Like it just okay. Mainly how I started is when I was waiting for us to get the next part ready. I was just listening to the stuff on Donna
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, I forgot you
because I
did.
don't like sitting here and just pure quiet. So I'll play a song or something, and instead of using YouTube, I just played on Donna because it was just quick, and for some reason the uh, Barf City Funk, the very first one, gets just popped in my head for some reason.
Yeah. Yeah, sometimes I'll still get that. I think it's the first one that you showed to me where it
Hmm.
goes like Kevin and Eric, something. I don't remember all the lyrics, but so sometimes Barf City with Kevin
Kevin
and Eric.
and
Sometimes that one will
Eric,
pop in my head
a
randomly.
funky podcast that'll make you hysterical.
Is that the one you were talking
Join
about?
the
Podcast
ride, it's
funk.
gonna be satirical. Yeah, that's the very first
Yeah,
one I made.
that's the one that sometimes will randomly get stuck in my head sometimes.
Yeah, that just popped in my head. I was like, okay, now I gotta listen to it while I'm just waiting for shit to get resetted. I don't know, like hopefully one of these days, like I'll get better quality stuff.
Yeah, I'm hoping to get a better. I'd like to have a better headset in general, but and a better microphone. And then since my webcam went kapooey, I'd like to get a. I'm gonna probably save up to get a, HD webcam to just kind of clip on top here, and I'll use
Yeah.
that one. So and that will be good. Then that way people don't have to see our swaying avatars anymore. You know. Sorry, folks, this is the best we got right now. So, or at least the best I got. Eric could do his movement avatar, but I guess
Yeah.
he wants to match, I guess.
Well, like it would be a little off-putting if I just my avatar started just, moving around and blinking with me, and also I can just keep my camera. I don't have to like focus my camera as much right now with that.
Yeah, that's one good thing I'll say because my avatar was never, I guess it, like I said, it probably has to do with the position I did the camera. Because when I turned it down too low to where it responded better, it that was an awkward angle for me to look at the screen. But if I like to bend the screen back more, but then if my camera doesn't see me as well,
Yeah.
and my sometimes my avatar would randomly just start looking down even though I wasn't looking down. For long periods of time too. I've noticed when I would edit, sometimes I would be like looking way over, or my head would start glitching out.
Yeah.
I'm like, what am I doing?
And that actually kind of got distracting sometimes for me because I would like look up from my phone or whatever notes I have, and I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah,
Yeah, it's just great though. That's fucking great.
yeah. I can't. I don't think I can think of an episode I really regret making. Uh, one I know I don't like to think about or listen to. I'll say that much. I don't really regret making it, but I just don't really like to think about it or listen to it. Is the one where I talked about me leaving Christianity. So I was like,
Oh
I don't
yeah.
like to think about it because it makes me cringe, and then I don't like to hear it because I'm talking about stuff that I don't want to be reminded of, really. And so, but I like the fact that I made the episode, but I keep it in the past where it belongs. I just don't really like to think about it much. And but yeah, other than that, I can't really think of one really. So, do you have a
Yeah.
favorite episode that maybe comes to mind, or maybe a favorite topic we had one time?
Um,
Mhm.
Honestly, I like our ranking stuff the best.
Oh yeah, those are pretty good.
They're just so easy to do in their normal conversation. I
Yeah,
don't have to have like things I've researched to talk about or random shit off the top of my head. I wouldn't want to do it all the time because it'd be boring, but like
yeah,
it's nice having those episodes every once in a while in between all the normal rambling chaos that we do.
yeah. Yeah, I would say that. Probably, I guess out of all the planned episodes we did, or more, I guess you could call them more script. They were well, they're not really scripted because we technically still are rambling off, but I guess you could say that we have. They're guided is probably a better way.
Yeah.
But yeah, out of all of our guided episodes, I would probably say the scary stories was probably my favorite. I loved that episode.
Uh,
That was the only episode I actually listened to. Like, I think I listened to it two more times after, even after I edited it. So, because I liked it so much. So, and I
yeah.
haven't done that with any of our episodes. Once I edited it, I never listened to it again. So,
If I had thought about it beforehand, right,
yeah.
I would have talked about doing another horror story stuff with this recording. So the episode could be called Nightmare Before Christmas
Yeah.
because it'd be the direct podcast before the one that's right after Christmas.
Yep. Pretty much.
So, but I didn't think about it. Damn, maybe next year.
Yep. Maybe next year you'll have to, yeah, shelve that in your head, like put a bookmark there somewhere in your brain.
Yep. I'm going to make a note on my calendar for next year. Here we go.
Yeah. Nightmare Before Christmas podcast episode.
Gotta remember to
Read that like
talk
a year
about it.
later, like, well, I would anyway. If I read something like that a year later, I'd be like, what the heck was I talking about? I don't
Oh
know
no,
what this means.
I'm putting full notes.
Oh, yeah. I don't know.
Yeah,
Even with a full description, I'd probably be a little confused on it. So,
I
be like, I have to read it like three times.
like what the fuck am I talking about? Oh yeah, the podcast. Shit, yeah, that's right. Yeah, we fucked up. We didn't get to see it last year.
Ugh.
Oh shit.
But yeah. Probably out of all the rambling episodes, I really like the Burger King lied to me episode. That one was really fun. Mm.
Yeah, I think that one was a good one. Now we're just talking about our own shit. Oh well.
Hey, it's toward the end of the year. We're recapping the year. So
Honestly, if I
even
had
though
to
I
say,
don't even think that episode was recorded this year, I think that was
yeah,
actually recorded last year. So,
if I actually have to say, what would be my total favorite episode would have to be episode 38, Tom Cruise in a thong.
oh yeah, I always forget about
When I
that.
was reading the list of weird
Yeah,
or
all the demands
wacky
by the
things.
yeah by the actors and actresses. Yeah. Mm. I remember that episode because you kept listening on, and just when I thought they couldn't get any crazier, they just kept getting crazier. So because I was just thinking like standard stuff, but I don't.
Yeah.
I've never had a Hollywood life. I don't know how any of that stuff works. I didn't know how demanding, or
Well,
I
like,
was like to me like it was. I would feel spoiled just someone bringing me food and drinks. Like that would feel weird to me.
well,
So
thing is, like,
but when you're an actor and that happens to you all the time, it probably feels pretty normal. So
well, like your typical average actor just wants a good,
yeah,
room, wants, good, decent food, and maybe a driver if they have a good long drive. Because
yeah,
some actors don't actually like to drive.
yeah. I don't
There are
like to
plenty
drive.
of,
Admittedly, if I had enough money, I would have a driver. Yeah, because I don't
yeah,
like driving. Mhm.
but but then you get some actors.
Yeah, those are very. Yeah, I know. It was particularly the last three of them. I remember that you listed off that I kept going. Wait,
Yeah,
what?
I
Because you
think it
did
wasn't it Eddie
Eddie
Murphy.
Murphy's. I
Yeah,
think it was with the whole sock thing. Yeah.
no, it was underwear. He had to
Oh,
have a
underwear.
fresh
Yeah.
pair of non-used, never worn underwear.
I know, and I kept thinking, geez, how freaking picky can you be? And then when you listed off Tom Cruise, I was like, okay, that makes Eddie Murphy sound normal. So
I mean, at least with Tom Cruise, I guess there's a reason behind it. It allows him to be more flexible, I guess.
I don't know.
But
I still feel
like,
like wearing like a G string or something would be just as flexible. Why a thong?
maybe he wants to see that thong, 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 thong. I like it when you're pretty girls.
He feels very pretty in it.
I feel pretty, oh so pretty. I feel pretty and witty and gay.
Yeah.
I'm not going up there to pitch. I'm feeling my Wheaties today. Oh shit.
Your Wheaties.
Yeah, that old saying.
Excuse me.
Damn. Nah.
Oh God, help me.
We need to do another musical episode.
We should. I should do a
Like,
recap of all my burping throughout all the episodes.
oh
That probably happens
God.
like a trillion times. Like,
Do a special episode like when we can't actually like they say something there's a reason we couldn't record. Just do an
just do a
episode of
compilation of
just
my
your
burp,
burping.
Kevin's burp, and you're laughing because you laugh a lot on the podcast.
The
Oh,
different laughs of Eric.
yeah. And you say so a lot, which I say so a lot too, but I say it a little differently than you. You usually kind of do it like you're starting a
So
conversation. You're like, so, and I'm more like ending it at a conversation. I'm like, yeah, so. I'm like, geez, why do I keep doing that? It's so annoying.
it's
Yeah.
the so. Well, like we did Disney songs. Like, should we do like era songs next?
What songs?
Era, like different eras.
Different eras.
Like the 90s,
Oh, like
80s,
decades. Yeah.
decades, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. Hmm.
Let us know in the comments below if y'all do want us to do that. Which decade do you want us to cover? Try to figure out our favorite songs of.
Yeah, that one would take a lot more thought on my end. I've never thought about ranking up songs from a decade or
I mean,
ranking decades themselves. Are you talking about ranking decades themselves or ranking songs from up to decades?
I mean, we can pick like one or two songs per each decade,
Oh, okay, I got you.
or we can just pick a top 10 from one decade.
Right, like pick a decade and then do a top 10. So,
Yeah. And then maybe later, after getting through all the decades that we actually like, right? Which decade was our favorite?
yeah. Well, I already know the answer to that one, but yeah.
The 90s.
No. 2000. Yeah.
That's right.
2000
You
is
were a
better.
late bloomer.
Yeah. 2000s is my decade. Yeah. Particularly the early 2000s.
Yeah. The 2010s weren't bad.
I like the 2010s too, but I just like 2000s better. So
I don't like the 2020s.
it's kind of hard for me to judge 2020s because I'm first of all I'm still in it, and sometimes it's easier when you're outside of a decade. And plus, now I'm an old fart, so it's harder for me to appreciate things, younger things now.
Oh no, I can still appreciate some of the younger music that's coming
Well, I
out.
do, but just not in the same way as I used to when I was younger. So.
But also, we don't have nostalgia glasses for them.
Yeah,
So,
my nostalgia kind of cuts off after the year 2014. It kind of like once I hit that year, it's like I literally have no nostalgia for any memories after that. So
so like the 2010s, the first half of it
yeah, pretty
back.
much. It's just like nostalgia from I have nostalgia from the 90s, I have nostalgia from the 2000s, and then the 2010s, the early 2010s, it's like right when it hits that year, it's like there's just like a cutoff. No more, I don't have that feeling at all for any memories after that. So
It's because you were married.
now I was married before that.
Oh,
But because I got married in 2010. Yeah, 2010.
oh yeah, it'd be the year before I graduated. That's right.
Yep.
Did that make you feel a little bit old?
I guess. But there's a lot of memories that I think about that make me feel old. So. I
Dude.
know some people on I saw on Instagram they were getting all upset because like and these are like little kids too. They were asking like a 7-year old like people about like what they think about the 90s, and they were talking about like, oh, that was so long ago, anybody born in the 90s is so old and stuff, and they're like getting and millennials were like getting upset about it. I was like, well, you have to understand these are like little kids. I was like, heck,
So
when I was a little kid in the 90s, to me the 70s felt like seemed like forever, before my time because I was a little kid. I didn't realize it was like just, a couple of decades before I was born. I didn't think about it like that. So,
I'm gonna say this early, before I get on this, because one of my buddies on Xbox does watch the podcast every once in a blue moon, one or
oh
two of
yeah,
them. Nightmare of You. So sorry, Salty Cookie and Ritsu, for outing y'all on this one. So we were playing Roblox. We were playing we were in this a catalog game where you can actually test out all the outfits you can put on your avatar in this game because we're trying to figure out a new outfits and stuff for our avatars.
yeah,
And a person's character was referring, their name was Edison.
okay,
And I was like, that's kind of a bland name to pick, Edison. And Ritsu popped up, which Ritsu is younger by a lot.
yeah,
Cookie's in her 20s. Uh, Ritsu popped up with like something about he never seen the name, heard of the name Edison. I'm like, you never heard of like Thomas Edison?
yeah.
And he's like, no, I've never heard of who's Thomas Edison. I was like, you don't. And Cookie didn't know either. And Cookie is in her early 20s again, but neither knew who Thomas Edison was. I'm like, holy shit, the failure in the school system. I'm like, this man is literally responsible for the patents of majority of things that we enjoy today.
Oh yeah,
Like their early starts up. Like they're the reason we have some of this shit today.
yep,
Like cameras and
oh yeah.
and
Tuesday.
I'm like, now I feel old as fuck. Like I get it. I am at the age. where I could be Nightmare and Ritsu's dad, like early teens dad,
Yeah.
and Cookie like very early teens dad potentially.
Yeah.
Because like I'm almost directly. I guess a kid technically because I'd been like 10 years old. I was a decade old when she was born,
Yeah.
and damn, they make me feel old. I like talking to my other friends who are close to my age. So nah, I love my friends on Xbox, but I'm like, damn, the schools, the failure in schools.
Yeah, I feel like that's something I learned when I was like a little, really young kid.
Yeah, I remember
I don't
learning
remember
it in
exactly
like
when I first learned it, but I was pretty young when I first remember hearing
I
about that
believe it was at
Thomas
least at
Edison.
middle school or earlier.
Yeah.
We studied Thomas Edison
Yeah.
and they talked about Nikola Tesla. And
Yep.
fuck, Thomas Jeff.
Alexander Graham Bell, invented the
Yeah,
phone. Yep.
like the
Like,
people, those are people were talked about when I was in middle school or younger. I'm like, damn. Now they're like
like, how do you make it all
Cookie.
the way through school and not know who these people are? Yeah.
Apparently, they don't teach about them very often anymore in schools.
Hmm.
Yeah, I was like, y'all never had any lessons on this guy, or any guys
Or at
no,
least
they're like
lightly briefed over it, just real quick. By the
maybe.
way, this guy, invented the light bulb, and this guy invented the phone, and this person, and yeah,
Probably so quickly that it doesn't even like register in their mind.
yeah, I guess.
Like the failure in the school systems. Do your
All
kids
right.
know who Thomas Edison is?
Well, I never met him personally because that was before my time, but I do know about him.
No, I'm saying your kids.
Uh, oh, my kids. I don't know. That's never come up in conversation. I'll have to ask him that.
Yeah, and ask see if your kids have learned about Thomas Edison. You might have
Yeah,
to do some little weekend homeschooling.
I know, right? Oh, I'm really bad about going into stuff like that, especially with my son. I'll start going into like teaching mode or something, like where I start randomly There was one time I was literally going down the list of all the different types of taxes we have. I was just like, oh yeah, so we have taxes for this and tax, and he was just like, okay, I'm bored now. Once I got to like the
Yeah,
fourth.
I can image your son's eyes just glazing over, like the fuck, Dad.
Yeah, I'm bad about doing stuff like that. I'll go into teaching mode and see what happens.
I
Uh,
try not to do that.
I'm also really bad about trying to diagnose people with stuff, and I try to restrain myself from doing that. So, be like, yeah, it
Uh,
sounds like they'll tell me about something like, oh, I've been having like, this happening, and I'll be like, oh, that means that you're low in this or whatever. And I try not to do that to people. I was just like, well, you're not a doctor, Kevin. You probably shouldn't be diagnosing people. Leave that to the professional.
it's like I have friends that's like some of my older friends would come to me like right after during high school, not high school, but college and shit. Like wanting a counseling session. I'm like, guys, I'm literally in my first year of criminal psychology. I'm not a fucking counselor yet. I have nowhere near the degrees I need. Like, and even when I dropped out after my second year,
Yeah.
my buddy's like, "Man, you took the classes. What does this mean if this and this?" I'm like, "Dude, I know."
Even if, yeah, sometimes there's stuff I feel like I do feel confident enough on the information to say, and I'll still restrain myself because I was like,
Yeah,
well, I mean, I'm not, a professional in this, so I probably
like
shouldn't
if
be
they come to
saying
me, "Hey, I need your
it.
advice on this topic," I'll give
Yeah,
it advice
yeah,
because of advice is opinionated.
yeah,
But like, don't ask me to be your counselor because yeah, I do have the 2.5 2 years of schooling, but like that's not enough to really counsel a person.
right.
My
And
life experience gives me enough, power to give advice.
yeah,
Like if
oh,
you want to know, like, hey, what should I do in this relationship? I mean, I've been in a relationship for 11 years. I guess I have good experience in relationship.
yeah, I refuse to
Yeah.
give marriage counseling anymore. I always tell people, I'm like, My marriage failed. You're asking the wrong person. I evidently don't know what I'm talking about.
My wife, before me and her got together, because I'm her first boyfriend and everything,
Yeah.
apparently her friends would ask her for relationship advice. And she's like, I've never had one. Why are you asking me?
My friends would do that to me in high school. They'd ask me for relationship advice. I was like, y'all realize I've never been in a relationship before? And I was like, because I didn't have my first relationship really until after high school, or at least my senior year of high school, technically. But this was before that. So,
Like I've had relationships since at least like elementary school,
yeah. Well, those
but
aren't quite the
like
same, but yeah.
yeah, but like anybody asked me for advice in high school, I'm like, look, okay, dude, look, dude, all my relationships before the current one had only lasted maybe half a year because I moved all the damn time, and they were when I was young. The one I'm currently in, me and her have split up like four fucking times. Like, and in between those times, like I dated her ex girlfriend. Don't ask me for relationship advice, guys. I'm not apparently good at it.
Oh,
Now I
excuse
am, apparently. I don't know how I became
me.
good at
Oh man.
relationships, but
Jeez. Sorry. Well,
I
I guess
guess it's
that's
one of
about
those.
all the time. Oh, sorry.
I was going
That's
to
it.
say, I guess it's
Start
just one of
wrapping
those.
things up.
You find the right dancing partner, but yeah.
Yep. Are you done already? Jeez, shut up. No, I'm kidding.
Damn, fine. Jeez. Maybe I wanted like a 5 hour fucking episode.
No, I'm too tired for that.
All right, everyone. We'll let this old man go take himself a nap.
Or
Don't
I
forget to
may not take a nap. I might take one.
don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe on YouTube. Follow us on Spotify, and don't forget to try out his game.
Oh yeah.
All right, and well, I guess we'll see you in the next one. Bye.